Amen, amen, amen. Brother Michael, would you tell one of them to bring me a water? Any one of them. I don't care. Amen. Amen. The Lord give me a message. Amen. You know, it doesn't take long, no matter who you are, if it's at work, you know, you come in as an apprentice of wherever it is. You got new in it when you first get hired on, Sister Tracy, and you kind of observe and you make sure you don't mess up and you're not confident and you don't have that confidence, and you know it takes a little while, and you start learning what the do's, the to do's and the don't do's are, and you start figuring things out, and a little while later something happens to you and you start getting a little skill about you. And if you're going to make it, just be honest with you, there's a lot of people that don't make it in a new job because they can't get the skills down, or they can't figure out how to show up on time. They can't figure out how to not call in every other day. They can't figure that, oh, I can't have excuses and still hold a job. No, you can't. And well, you see, the same thing happens in churches. The same thing happens when you come and you dedicate your life. You see, it's like you just filled out an application. You was up there, and you was down there telling the Lord, I'm not going to do this anymore, Lord, and I'm not going to do that. And I'm a sinner, and I've got all these things I need you to help me with. You're filling out your application. You're putting down all the things that you don't want in your life anymore. And you see, when you first get saved, Sister Judy, everything's new. You don't know what the don'ts are yet. All you know is, I once was lost, and now I'm found. Amen. Sister Pastor talks about when God finally, give her that revelation of new. You know, that aha moment. Amen. She probably prayed lots of times before and didn't get that aha moment. You listen to just about anybody, and it's not you go put your name on something and everything's okay. You need to have an encounter. You see? It's the difference. You know, you go get a new job and you might have some qualifications, but if you can't do the job, then all the qualifications in the world that you say you have on that sheet of paper don't mean a thing. What really means is, can you do it? Will you do it? Can you do it? Are you going to show up? You know what? We were talking, and I'm rambling right now, but I'm going to get on a message, I promise you. We were talking about, you know, people having excuses about, oh, it's raining, I can't go to church today, it's too far away, it's this, it's that, and it's the other, and all the different things that you can have as an excuse not to come to the house of God. Well, you know what? The biggest excuse for me to get up every morning and go to a job is those bills, and they don't stop coming. Amen. Well, it's the same thing in the spiritual realm. It's a different kind of bill, though. It's the bill that the devil tries to put on your life, and the calamity that this world has to offer you if you get out of the will of God. And you know what? This should be, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter what it takes. God, I'm going to come to your house. Amen. Is it because with it? It's got something to do with it. I'm going to break my will, and I'm going to take up my cross, and I'm going to follow the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Amen. You know what? I want to get a paycheck from that job that I have to pay my bills with. And some of it I created on my own, and some of these bills, you know, are just to live life. Hey, but you know what? Wherever you're at, you know that when morning comes, if you don't get up and you don't strap your boots on and you don't get out the door and get in your car and you don't drive to that job and you don't clock yourself in and start doing what the man tells you to do, you're not going to get a paycheck, and you're not going to pay for your bills, and then the bills, the power's going to go off, The water's going to go off, and you can whine all you want to the people about how I didn't, I just made a mistake. Oh, but you know what? I'm laying up treasures in heaven. I'm paying the power bill in heaven today. I'm paying my water bill in heaven today. God said he'd give me waters that would flow out of my belly. And you know what? I'm paying that bill this morning. When I got up this morning, I said I'm going to go to the house of God, and I'm going to worship him. Not because of you, but because of him. That's why I come here. That's why I praise. That's why I get in the Spirit on the Lord's day. It's not about anything I've ever done. It's not about anything I want him to give me. It's about him. Him. Woo. Maybe he didn't forgive you of a lot of stuff. Hey, but I got a bill to pay. Woo, I got a bill to pay. Whoa, man, that thing, woo, that thing just keeps on sending with interest, Sister Melissa. And it took a while for me to get out of the stuff I sowed to find myself in the promise of what he is. Yeah, that's the other thing about the newborn Christian. And I'll tell you, if you think you're a newborn Christian and you're not going to go through some stuff, you sowed some stuff back there. And God forgive you of that stuff, but there's still some bills you got to pay. There's still some, oh, I don't know if I can make it today. You better, because you're going to be right back where you started. Right back where you started. And nobody else is going to put it on you or do it for you. Everyone in this house. But her prayers are for naught if you don't accept your responsibility in this house. Your responsibility. Hey, you wrote out the resume to God. It's not what I say. It's between you and him. I can't forgive you of anything. I can't forgive myself of anything. I'm a man most miserable without the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I don't even want to hear about your sin. I don't want to know about your drama. I don't want to know about all the stuff you've been through. You tell that to the King of Kings. I've got my own set of mess I'm trying to tiptoe through, and it's like I'll start right here. Between Michelle and I, we have 8 kids and a pile of grandkids. So I'm stepping through a mess every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Hey, man, now, okay, I'm through rambling. Thanks for the water, by the way. When I hear that song, I will praise you. I will praise you. I won't let the stones cry. Woo! Man, that just, man, gives me chills. Woo! Where he found me, where he brought me from. Amen. But we all deal with these idols. I'm gonna get in the scripture. 23 is where I'm going to be at, the 32nd verse. But we have these idols. And some of us know where our triggers are, and some of us don't. But it does us well to know what the idols are, and most everybody in here has an idol. You just don't know. Some of us, that's why we have to keep on coming up here over and over and over and over again over the same thing, because we hadn't learned that it's time. You know what? The kings, if you read in Kings, 1st and 2nd Kings and 1st and 2nd Samuel, the good kings tore down the idols, Well, the next king come along, had to do it again. The next king that come along, well, we got to do it again. We didn't do it good enough the last time. We got everything but this little bit. We left a little bit over here and a little bit over there. Well, see, that's the idols that we have in our life today. Some of us have the idol of money. Some of us have the idol of power. Some of us have the idol of pleasure. Sister Tracy, we could probably preach 5 messages about the idol of pleasure, right? Brother Charlie, you could tell them how you had to lay down that pleasure idol, right? All that alcohol and drugs and this and that and the other and debauchery and what was it, the prodigal sitting on the bar stool. Hey, I've been there. I've been that prodigal sitting on that bar stool. It's an idol. Pleasure is an idol. Money can be an idol. Power. You know what? People who ascribe to be powerful, as long as it's all about power. You see, they're okay with being ruled over, as long as they can have their place in the power. They just want to plug into power. More power, more power, more power. And that's what their whole life is. And then some of us today, you know what we like best? Honor. We want to be honored. We want the accolades. We want the plaques on the wall. We want somebody to puff us up and tell us how good we did, how good we can sing, or the other. We like that. No, they're not made out of sticks. They haven't been fashioned out of a man's hand, but they're still the same powerful idol as they were dealing with way back then. Because we worship. And if you think to yourself very hard, one of those 4 you deal with. You're dealing with it. You're dealing with it right now. And there's 2 ways. Dealing with it on your knees, or you're trying to hide it from everybody else. I heard a testimony, man, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And the testimony was talking about how addicts. But guess what he was? He was an addict. But he could hide it really well. He had it hid pretty good. Nobody knew. Nobody knew, except a very, very, very choice few. I mean, he had to get it from somewhere, so that person knew at least. But you know, there's a lot of that going on in today's